There's a documentary that was released within the month. You can find it on YouTube. It's called What is a Woman? It's interesting. I've seen most of it, not all of it. I've heard some talks about it. But I've spent so much time on the category that or issue they're talking about. It's called What is a Woman? So people can figure it out. It's about transitioning and not into a cat. Transitioning from a man to a woman or a woman to a man, okay? But yes, I've spent a lot of time on that subject and listened to some very intelligent talks. Jordan Peterson is in the documentary. He was a guy that I really gave a lot of credit to when he pretty much was being called out for being, a transphobe. And, that guy was he is a great professor. He almost lost his job just because he didn't want to use pronouns, he didn't want to compel his speech. And the laws were being passed that meant he had to fall in line, and he fought, and I gave him a lot of credit for that because I think he was super correct about the way he went about it. Was brilliant, I thought. He brought the fight right to everyone's doorstep, and really just wanted to understand what was going on, because it was just it is kind of crazy. But this documentary is interesting because there's a lot of people talking about it. I saw Jim Brewer talking about it, the comedian Jim Brewer from Half Baked and Saturday Night Live. Owen Benjamin was talking about it, another YouTuber. Actually, I don't even know if he still has a channel or not. I haven't seen him in a long time, but I know 4, 5, 6 years ago there were many channels talking about that subject. And you had Mag Bitter Truth, Mag Truth TV. You had MR.E. You had some really, really good channels really digging into what was going on with this movement, and they were completely wiped off of YouTube. You cannot even find Mag or MR.E anywhere on YouTube. I don't know, what dark corner they, hid those videos in. I'm sure somebody's got an upload of those guys out there on YouTube, but they have been gone for, pretty much when YouTube got really knocked around with the channels, and a lot of people lost their channels. A lot of truthers lost their channels. A lot of good independent thinkers lost their channels. So I find it interesting that this, is becoming mainstream knowledge now, when, again, 3 or 4 years ago, I was showing this to people and they were laughing at me. Some people got it, and it's frightening, but, the fact that these things are getting hundreds of thousands of views nowadays, it just blows my mind, because I don't understand how, how the people 4 or 5 years ago won't get any credit for the work that they did. And people right now are pretty much stealing all that work and pretty much saying the same stuff and getting praised for it. So it kind of blows my mind. But if you still go, you could still find some of that stuff on BitChute. Transpocalypse Now was MR.E.'s channel, and you can find it on BitChute. There's Mag. I don't know what happened to him. It's been a long time since I've heard him. He was pretty rough. MR.E. I thought was very well spoken, and he seemed like a pretty intelligent person looking into the stuff, so I always had a good amount of respect for him. But the fact that Jordan Peterson's still around, I find that interesting too, because there was a time and point where he pretty much almost had to shut up and stop doing what he was doing, but he made it through. And I don't know if that hurt him or not, but it's, he's an intelligent man, very intelligent man. I don't really listen to Jordan Peterson anymore. I feel like he might have had to compel some of his speech, so I can't say I blame him, but that's kind of against what he was fighting for in the first place, and the reason I really respected him. But I do find it interesting that Jim Brewer's channel, he's got a podcast on YouTube. I forget what it's called, but if you just type in Jim Brewer podcast, you'll find him. He's talking about all the subjects that were going really big 6 years ago and prior to that, and now you can barely find any of that information on YouTube. But places like Jim Brewer and a couple other channels seem to be able to say, or talk about these subjects and not get any repercussions. I can't even post a video on here without, getting a hit for something, and I got 50 people watching. It's like, okay, which I appreciate. I get even 2 viewers. I don't do it for the viewing. I try to have some sort of creative outlet and just to have a place to put my thoughts and just keep them where it ends up. I could just say what I need to say and get it off my chest, and I don't have to worry. I don't have to think about it anymore. But interesting documentary. They only go so far, if you ask me. They bring in the demonic and satanic and agendas that seem to be behind it, but man, it goes so much deeper. I don't think they can. I think whoever directed it's smart enough to know, they can only go so far. But it's good that this stuff is becoming more mainstream knowledge, but it might be a little late. And I do think we had a chance to do something and really get that word out there before 2019 hit, but everybody knows how that went. So interesting stuff. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there. Documentary again, it's called What is a Woman? The guy just goes around asking professors and women that are feminist rallies. He's just like asking them, what is a woman? Somebody please tell me. And some of the responses are just insane. You could have a penis and still be a woman. All right, if that's the way you view reality, I guess that's how that works. But pretty hard to listen to some of it because people are just so lost in their thought process. It's like, wow, you know. But I do find it, you know, again, I was listening to Jim Brewer talk about it, and, you know, he's a comedian, so, but I do think comedians are all very intelligent, especially the good ones. And, you know, he's been in Hollywood, he's been around a lot of these celebrities, and, you know, he seems to understand that Hollywood's just embedded. It's embedded in Hollywood, and it always has been embedded in Hollywood. You know, that's why they give you the golden idol when you win the Oscar. You know, it's if you ever look at those things, they're really not male or female. They're androgynous. You know, everything Hollywood does pushes androgynous, and you know, we don't know what we're looking at half the time when we're watching movies and television. There's so many things that can make a person look different. We have no idea what these celebrities even look like in reality, you know. And when you do see them out in public, either one or two things. Either they're always in character, so like let's say Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm not, you know, saying anything negative about him, but Jake Gyllenhaal's always playing that character, you know. And these guys and females and whatever they are, you know, they don't use their real names. Like Jake Gyllenhaal is not his real name. George Clooney's not his real name. You know, like these people change their last names and create personas, and they can do that with their face. You know, they can prosthetics, whatever they need to do to be whoever they need to be. They can do that, and they have all the money in the world to look any way they need to look to play that character, and they're always in character, always. You know, I don't know if they ever turn it off, or if they even know who they are anymore, or if they ever even were something different, or they're just born into it so far that they, you know, they believe it, you know. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Take care.